Glad to be back here again on the conversation on Lagos television. I am Ajibola Ojeshola.
And I am Adebimpe Omotayo. It's nice to be here again.
And it's good to see you again.
Ajibola,
We didn't see Adebimpe yesterday.
I saw something yesterday, Ajibola. And you know, we have been, most especially you, have been vindicated. I don't know if you talked about it yesterday, about not needing mathematics, you know, to get into into uni anymore as a qualifier.
Why would you want to study law or mass communication or linguistics and you're expected to...
Exactly. People like me that studied English as a first degree.
What was it like coming to work this morning? For me,
there was
traffic was hell.
There was traffic. And, you know, I took my time a little bit because, you know, Thursdays in the mornings before 10, the traffic is usually light, you know. But today was an exception. But I saw quite a number of LASMA and policemen, the traffic ones, you know, on the road this morning. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. But, yeah. Traffic was slow, was very, very slow, but, you know, moving gradually.
Very, very slow. Okay, so let's get to business and take our news points this morning. We're starting from Lagos.
Yes, because we're in Lagos, because it is a city of excellence, we are starting with Lagos Agege local government to boost waste management, flood-free community. The Lagos state government has strengthened collaboration with Agege local government to advance environmental sustainability and improve waste management across the state. Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, disclosed this in a statement following a meeting with the acting chairman of Agege local government, Ganiu Obasa. Wahab said the meeting, which was attended by heads of agencies, permanent secretaries and directors, focused on building synergy between the state and local governments to create a cleaner, flood-free and more sustainable Lagos. According to him, discussion centered on transitioning from a linear waste system where refuse is simply picked and dumped to a circular model that treats waste as a valuable resource. He emphasized that local government and local council development areas play a key role in ensuring that every household, market and street aligns with the state's environmental goals. And as part of the action plan reached at the meeting, Wahab said environmental health officers would work directly with the Lagos Waste Management Authority to strengthen enforcement and ensure prompt waste collection. He added that the Lagos State Parks and Gardens Agency would support identified areas in Agege with greenery beautification, while drainage engineers attached to the local government would provide technical assistance on flooding and channel maintenance. Yes, I'll stop here. Time and time again, we've discussed the issue of recycling and turning our waste into wealth. And I'm glad that we're now having collaborations, you know, from a state with the state and the local governments. Yes, if issues are needed to be tackled, you know, holistically, we should always start from the grassroots.
I also love the partnership, like Adebimpe pointed out, between the state and the local government, because most of these environmental infractions usually takes place at the grassroots level because of low level of awareness on the part of the people. So we'll see how the State Ministry of Environment is going to drive these and, of course, ensure that it is taking round all the 20 local government and the 37 local council development areas of the state. You know, we do say it repeatedly on this program that the connection between your environment and your health is a whole lot. And what you give to the environment is what the environment is going to give back to you. So if you like handle your environment in a shabby way, you're going to reap the fruit of your carelessness at the end of the day. And you know, when we say governor, when we say deputy governor, or those that we are appointed as commissioners, when the environment tries to fight back, they will not be the one to bear the brunt.
Exactly. It's us.
It is the people.
Everybody will bear the brunt.
So even when you see your neighbors doing something, like Joshua would say, when you see something, you say something. Okay, from environment, we are moving into politics. Season of defection, movement, resignation in Nigeria, all in the favor of the ruling party APC. Hurricane Tinubu, mass defections ignite one-party state fairs. As the 2027 general elections approach, President Bola Tinubu is strengthening his political dominance in the south following a wave of defections by governors and influential politicians from the PDP and other opposition parties to the APC. The development has, however, ignited fears of a one-party state, with opposition leaders condemning the mass movement to the ruling party. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the 2023 Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi dismissed the defections as act of desperation by politicians seeking personal survival. They declared that the battle line is drawn, vowing that Nigerians will take their pound of flesh at the polls by voting out President Tinubu for allegedly deepening the country's hardship and decline. The Punch gathered from top APC officials who are privy to the ongoing political maneuvering that more governors from the south will soon declare for the ruling party. On Tuesday, Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State defected from the PDP to the APC alongside members of the State Executive Council. Barely 24 hours later, another PDP governor, Doye Diri of Bayelsa State, resigned his membership of the PDP. The chief press secretary to the governor, Daniel Alabra, disclosed that Diri quit the party along with the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Abraham Igbori, and 21 other lawmakers. The governor later confirmed his resignation during a State Executive Council meeting. Diri's departure from the PDP puts to rest months of speculation about his rumored move to the APC, though Alabra did not reveal his next political move. Diri's resignation comes just days after the chairman of the PDP's Governors Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed expressed concern over the growing number of governors and senior party figures crossing to the APC. Once again, I'll take the headline, Hurricane Tinubu. That sounds quite interesting. And we have a senior journalist joining us this morning. He's also a politician, so he should be able to give us his own perspective to the recent development and the mass defection into the APC that we have witnessed recently. We have joining us from the FCT via Zoom, Dr. Ni Akishiju. Like I did say, he's a politician and a journalist. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you so very much. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for having me, as they say.
All right. So what do you make of this headline of the Punch, Hurricane Tinubu mass defection into the APC, and the fears in some quarters that we are beginning to tilt towards a one-party state?
I think the headline is appropriate. It captures the essentials of emerging political reality in the country. To the extent of the fact that we have not seen this, we have not experienced this spectacle, perhaps since the beginning of this democratic dispensation in 1999. And I think the subject matter of the hurricane, as Punch put it, as it's actually playing a game, it's actually reenacting what he led, in the putting together of the whole Progressive Congress in between 2013 and 2015. Don't forget that between 2013 and 2014 precisely, there was this kind of...
All right, we seem to be having problem with the network. Adebimpe, you giggled when I read the headline, Hurricane Tinubu mass defections ignite one-party state affairs. What do you make of all of this?
Okay, it is really a hurricane, but this is not the first time we're having defections, especially ahead of the 2015 elections. Was it 2015?
2027.
No. I'm
okay, before now.
Yes, before, when Buhari was the candidate of the APC, we had defections then, and of course, our former vice president, who is now, saying this and that, he too also defected in 2014. So defection is part of politics, especially when elections is coming.
Is Nii back with us?
Yes, I am with you now.
Yeah, you have the floor.
All right. So I was talking about the first gate of the defection as a precursor to the putting together of the All Progressive Congress. So it is not new. We had up to 5 governors, sitting governors of the People's Democratic Party crossing carpet, as it were. Perhaps they crossed their avenues, into the APC. The very strong member of the PDP at that time, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, also crossed with so many very influential members of other parties. So this should not be new because, as I noted, the subject matter of this hurricane has a name and, of course, perhaps has a huge influence in the political environment, so much that when he shows his hands, Nigerians, actually appreciate what he is. But what is essential about this is that you have substantive peer, in the political firmament moving on to the party of the president. So what this tells me is that it is actually a manifestation of these people, these governors, sharing in the vision, of the president, because they are not under compulsion to move. They are already, well-seated, well-established governors with their own peculiar influences. So I think it's good for our democracy. It's good for our democracy to the extent that you are seeing major principal players in the subnationals buying into the vision of a president, at the federal level. It tells me that this is a kind of reinforcement, of the federal system. It's a kind of reinforcement of democracy. So while some other people are actually talking about the possibility or the fears of a one-party state, I think I don't think the fear is well-grounded. There's no validation for that fear.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is that there's nobody constraining or limiting anybody to form or to join an association or a political party.
Okay,
so as long as there is no tethering of political intentions by the president, I don't think there's any fear about the one-party state.
Okay, so is this a matter of genuine vision or political desperation for survival on the part of those who are the campaign from the PDP to the APC? Because when you look at the ideology of the APC, it's quite different from that of the PDP. So why the sudden change?
There's also the attraction of philosophy and of vision. So whereas an individual that belongs in the political party believes that there is a leadership in the other political party that is stronger in terms of vision, in terms of a propensity, to deliver better, with nothing stops that person from converting. So it's a conversion, kind of. So it's the governors, as it were, had seen the light. And in seeing that light, they have decided determinedly, to also move to that space where the light is illuminating the space. So I don't think it's any form of desperation. It is actually an act of manifestation of appreciation of what the president is doing. And the truth is that the president is actually writing a new model in leadership, in Nigeria. We only need to sit down, do a context analysis of what the president is doing, and we understand that there's an emerging model, that is restructuring and, of course, rewriting the political space, as it were. Those are the yet unmanifested, signals, that the people outside the main political field are yet to understand.
Okay. My colleague here, Adebimpe, she has a question for you.
Okay. Looking at the causes or some of the causes of this defection, especially for the PDP, can we attribute it to the crises they've had even before now, especially the ones they had just before the 2020, when was the last elections again?
2023.
2023 elections.
Well, the truth of the matter again is that in fact, yes, I agree. There was a conflict situation, arising from the presidential
primary of the PDP.
Primaries, yeah.
of the PDP.
Yeah.
But again, there was no need for that conflict to to flare up beyond control. Because the truth of the matter is, democracy allows for engagement and dialogue. So any form of conflict can always be negotiated, and of course, can always be doused.
Okay.
I think the leadership of the PDP.
Okay, I think the network is not cooperating with us this morning, and Adebimpe did raise a very vital question there. So, but for me, like I put to Dr. Akinshiju, the ideology of the APC is quite different from that of the PDP. So, how they intend to marry their ideologies together is what is giving me headache.
Ajibola, what are their ideologies?
Or there's no difference between Coke and Fanta.
Exactly. It's same Joe, minor differences. And still talking about these defections, also in 2015,
23.
no, 2015, where we even had the ruling party as the PDP, there were still defections from the PDP to APC. We had about 5
Okay, Dr.
sitting governors.
Akinshiju is back.
All right.
Yeah, please
So
go ahead.
I was actually trying to say that the leadership of the PDP at that time,
Okay.
was deficient in crisis management.
Oh.
But I don't think that has direct impact on what is happening now. That was an issue limited, to the PDP. If the PDP had continued to drive itself in terms of how it is managing its members, how it is managing power in those places that it had power influence, the governors may not have started moving. Why they are moving now, to my mind, is that there is a kind of relationship they have formed, with the president. And that relationship is based on mutual respect and is based on appreciation of what the president is doing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, is it true? People are making different comments in different quarters. They are saying that the PDP is dead, but not buried yet. That's on one hand. On the other hand, in the Punch story of today, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi dismissed the defections as an act of desperation by politicians seeking personal survival. What do you make of that?
Well, they have a right to their to their own personal opinion. I think that is actually an allegation of their personal opinion. Politicians and, of course, followers, voters, know where the power scale shifts when people of a certain power block, people of certain power influence move, But the truth of the matter is, I would also urge them, to resurrect whatever political structure they think they can, so that in actual fact we can have a viable opposition, because a viable opposition is important, to the kind of the quality of democracy that we desire for. So both Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the Labour former presidential candidate of the Labour, Mr. Obi, should not just limit their vituperation, to the media. We should see them go back to the grassroots. We should see them recreate the political structure, at the grassroots, and of course provide for the Nigerian people an alternative platform. In that way, we know that indeed we do not have any fear for a one-party state.
Okay.
So what about the other question about PDP being dead but not buried yet?
Well, at every point in time, there's always a challenging scenario for an entity, even for a human being. The scenario for the PDP at the time is that they are challenged, and they are highly challenged. And I believe that if we have quality leadership in the PDP, this is the time to come together and, of course, drive a new vision, create a resurgence philosophy, and in their own way, be able to still use, because the truth is that the PDP, away from the APC, is still the strongest political structure, in the country. And to that extent, the framework is still there. How do I call it? The building blocks are still there. It is just now for the members and the leadership of the PDP to be encouraged, and be able to fight, for their own survival, for the survival of the party, and of course with a vision to provide Nigeria in truth and indeed, with an alternative, political structure.
Obviously, the umbrella is leaking and the broom is sweeping everywhere clean. For the ruling party APC now, should it just fold its arms and think that victory will just come easy in 2027?
Well, I know that there are a lot of activities ongoing in the APC. I belong in the APC without doubt, and I take pride in in announcing that. I am presently in Asaba, where members are being trained to conduct, how do I call it, to conduct e-registration processes, to understand e-registration processes. The party is trying to move away from analog administration of his party membership, to digital. Now the vision is to provide identities for members of the party, and beyond that, to enlarge the base of the party, and in a better way, in a current way, to also have a database of members that is referenceable. It talks to a party that is organizing. It talks to a party that is structuring, and it talks to a party that is very serious about the quality of membership it intends to have, and to manage.
Okay, let me go hear a question.
Okay, what's on the street pointing, accusing fingers at the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, has been a major contributor to the weakening of the PDP?
Did you get a question?
I can't get that clearly.
I didn't get your question again.
Okay, I said what's on the street are pointing fingers at the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, has been a major contributor to the weakening of the People's Democratic Party.
Well, a man has a right to express himself, either in words or in action. And if it so happened that this man has the capacity and the influence, it means that such a man should be respected. So if you have such a person in the PDP and he was treated like a commonplace rag, and he decides to react, I don't think we should blame him for him. Blame that for him. So because the truth of the matter is, in any grouping, leader.
The network again, and whether you like it or not, the FCT minister yesterday throwing some jabs at those.
Always look out for people that have given pride of place. But in the situation that we have now, you have a situation where the person believes that he was not respected, he was not treated with equity. So if he decides, of course, to move against that institution, I am not going to blame him.
But he has not defected officially.
Treated him. I'm not going to blame him.
But he hasn't defected officially, hasn't showed any signs of defecting officially. He still calls himself a member of the PDP, but works fully for the APC.
Yes. Don't forget that we run a presidential system of government, and the presidential system of government allows for interaction between the ruling party and of course the opposition party. Yeah. So wherefore, the president believes, or even governors at state level, thinks that there are people that could be of use to them in the opposition party. They can employ them, they can appoint them. And this is what had happened, between the president and Wike, Mr. Wike. So to that extent, you have an individual who belongs in the PDP, and determines that he still wants to retain his membership in PDP, but his service is needed critically in the APC. And I can tell you that if you are a usual visitor to the FCT, the FCT people are very, very appreciative of what Wike is doing. And perhaps is one of the most popular ministers in the cabinet of the president. So the president had actually achieved the purpose, the first objective of employing Mr. Wike. So it also shows that the president is a good recruiter of
talents.
chief executives in his own right.
Okay.
Okay, earlier you pointed out at the merit of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Is there any possibility for us to see more governors, senators, members of National Assembly defecting into the ruling party?
Oh, of course. There'll be new news, about defections, even most especially from the north. I can tell you already there are about two governors from the north that are already on the way. But very soon they'll be unveiled, and of course the numbers of the members of the Senate and House of Reps are also growing. But what I can tell you is that these people are buying into the vision of the president, and to that extent, the belief is that at this point in time, the place to be is the All Progressive Congress.
All right, so for the ruling party now, APC, what does this defection portend for the party ahead of 2027 elections?
It's a guarantee of of winning the election. It's when you have people of such quality moving to your party, it means that the superstructure of the party is well grounded, and it does mean that you have representation in vast numbers across the country. When politicians talk about structure, they are not talking about blocks. They are not talking about bricks and mortar. They are talking about people. Representation of people, especially at the grassroots level, at polling booths and all that. And the more people you have, at those levels, the better for the potency of the party itself. So we think going into the 2027 election will be a much easier, better process than it had always been, because already the manifestos of the ruling party are already being adopted, by governors across the country, by people across the country. The APC now has absolute, unadulterated majority, 2/3 in the national in the Senate. So that talks to you the extent, the capacity that is emerging, in the party.
Dr. Akinshiju, we cannot have this discussion without making reference to the people. We all know that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. What's the need for the Nigerian people in all of this?
Well, the party itself, the APC itself, is grounded in the people. Don't forget that in 2015, when Nigerians decided to vote against the ruling party, it was actually a vote of confidence in the leadership of the All Progressive Congress. And to that extent, going forward, we have seen how the Nigerian people have continued, to vote the leadership, the presidential candidates of the APC over the last three presidential elections. So it is the Nigerian people are shown through the ballots, that it's the way to go is also the APC. Despite the challenges arising from the 1999 to 2015 irresponsible, allow me to use the word, irresponsible governance, that threw us into the economic mess that we found ourselves in 2015. The Nigerian people saw that, and because of that, they decided to move, into the APC. And we have seen how the economy is being managed. In truth, there are pains, there is stress, but the truth of the matter is people are seeing that there are movements towards, there is a progression, towards a better economic space.
Dr. Ni Akinshiju, we must thank you very much for your time this morning on The Conversation.
It's my chance for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, that's our conversation on the gale of defections that we have witnessed recently in the polity, and of course everything seemed to be tilting in favor of the ruling party, which is the APC. At this moment on the program, we'll be taking a very short break to bring you our Lagos conversation.